In addition to being a confederacy that had ways of diplomacy and governance, the Six Nations also had these political relationships with the colonial powers. And in this situation, it's England, right? The King of England. The English, they looked at the Confederacy as its own nation, just as England would have relationships, political relationships with countries such as Portugal or Spain. The English monarch had these political relationships with the Confederacy. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea that people at that time took this Confederacy seriously. It was a political entity, and they were making treaties with these Six Nations. So in 1744, the Treaty of Lancaster was between the Six Nations and King George II. In this treaty, it required the Six Nations to give or renounce and disclaim, anything in the quotation marks comes directly from the treaty, to renounce and disclaim all rights to land in the colonies of Virginia and Maryland, and to cede that land to the English, to keep to his king and his to the English king and his heirs. What could have possibly been happening in the Six Nations region and territory, these tribes, that would have brought the Six Nations to the table to sign a treaty like that? And once the native people either lost their land through battle or by a treaty or forced loss of their land in other ways, they never get that land back. It really wasn't until we get to the 1970s with Richard Nixon did native people start getting some of their land back that they had lost. Right? It took a long, long time. And the amount of land that native people have been able to reclaim, to get back, to have returned to them by the federal government is a very, very small amount compared to the millions of acres that they lost.